talking to the great Tom Kensler of the Denver Post. He, of course, is in Las Vegas for the big CSU game tonight. Tom, what do the Rammies have to do to knock off Steve Fisher's team?
You know, they've split the two regular season meetings, each one at home, and it was about the same score, around 6 to 9 point difference, both in the 70s. They're pretty equal now. Now Avila, J.J. Avila, really their best player, Colorado State's best player, turned his ankle last night, and he came down on somebody's foot. The typical, take a shot, came down on foot. I would be surprised if he plays, and if he doesn't play, I'd have a hard time believing they would beat San Diego State. He probably has the most talent in the league, but they have played them well 2 times, so I think they have some confidence going in.
How would you get?
One thing is that San Diego State shot really well in both games. They've got to play better defense against the Aztecs to answer the question.
Let's assume that what we're talking about is right, that CSU is going to the NCAA tournament, and I think it would be highway robbery if they didn't go with their victories and with their accomplishments and their RPI. What sort of success do you see for them? Let's say that they are an 8th seed or 9th seed. I haven't looked at the proposed bracket so much, but do you give them much of a chance in the NCAA tournament?
I do, because they have 4 guards that can play. I mean, their second-string guards are as good as their first-string guards. And it tends to be a guards game, especially in the tournament. So I give them a chance to win one. Now, we all know if you're in that dreaded 8 or 9, you play number 1 second game. And some people are picking them in the, in the same division or region as Kentucky. So party would be over. But I think they can win a game. I think they can. I think this is a better equipped team than maybe some of the previous CSU teams. I think it's more athletic, and because it's deep at guard, I think it's going to really help them.
Tom, you've covered college basketball for decades. 2-part question: is Kentucky going to win it all? And if you agree with that, is Kentucky the best team you've ever seen?
That's a good one. I think they are probably going to win. I think because they have so much depth and size that they can have 2 or 3 players have off nights, so to speak, and still win. Now, a lot of teams can't say that. They're going to depend on a couple guys. Kentucky has so much depth that somebody else can step up. I think they're going to run the table, which would be the first team since Bob Knight's 1976 team. So, best team I've ever seen. That's hard to say. That UNLV team that won in Denver was pretty hard to beat.
Yeah. I think there's only one team that can beat Kentucky. That's Duke. I think they have a legitimate chance because they have a player and they have a coach that I believe their coach is better than the Kentucky coach, and I believe their player is better than the Kentucky players. Would you comment on that, Tom?
Well, I like that. I would say but Okafor, the one thing about, and you're talking about Jalil Okafor, probably better than anybody Kentucky has. True, but he's not a really good defensive player. And Kentucky can really take advantage of that inside. He's got to learn that. I mean, he's got to develop that in the NBA. But he's immensely athletic. I would say that, maybe Wisconsin, if they really have a hot shooting day. I like Arizona to maybe match up. They're tall and athletic.
Yeah, I think Arizona deserves to be a number 1 seed, and a lot of people are not giving them a number 1, predicted they'll be a number 1 seed. But I think Arizona belongs there. You mentioned, Ben, that Tom has covered golf, pro football, college football, college basketball for decades, and I've been a lot of places with him. But I would like to close today, Tom. We just talked about Percy Harvin going to Buffalo. Would you tell us about a famous time you and I went to Buffalo with a guy named Joe Sanchez and what happened at the end of the night on a snowy, cold night in Buffalo?
Is this a story you can tell, Tom?
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was, 6 inches of snow on the ground. There's no lines delineating parking spaces. Is this what you're going after, Woody?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Apparently, we parked in the handicap spot. I mean, you literally couldn't tell. We came back and we had flat tires.
We were going to the Anchor Bar, and Joe Sanchez had got into it with a guy who pulled up in a van that got out of a. He had Wounded Warrior, and Joe was saying, because Joe whacked his car a little bit. The guy started on him, and Joe said, get that out of here. And I said, you don't want to do that. He's going to key the car after we're gone. He didn't key the car. He slit 2 of the tires. And we spent most of the night in the parking lot instead of the Anchor Bar drinking beer. And Tom was our driver. So,
well, Tom, thanks for coming to us from Las Vegas. Don't leave all your money there, okay?
Okay.
All right. You can read Tom Kensler and what he has to say about CU
smiling because he remembered
and
that.
CSU.
Yeah.